Hello, floral fanatics. Welcome to our flower cast because we're having a bloomy day.
What does that mean? It's like gloomy,
Yeah.
but it's the opposite of gloomy.
It's a bloomy day. Today's video is about arranging bouquets, but not just any bouquets. Dun dun dun. We have bridal bouquets, bridesmaids bouquets, and sometimes bouquets that are just for throwing. There's a few different styles and methods of arranging we are going to focus on in this video. Bouquets are classified by their shape and the materials that make them, and sometimes by the occasion. We'll be talking about cascading and brown bouquets in terms of shape, and ingredients such as ruscus greenery, eucalyptus, blush florals, boho pampas, rustic sunflowers, and more. It's all up to you, but some important things to always consider no matter what style or materials you use, we will have them listed in this video. This is Studio 131 Design and Decor's Pro Tip Series, and I am Karen O'Coin. The most important thing is that these babies have to be tough. They're going to be moving around a lot, exchanging hands, accidentally dropped, intentionally tossed through the air, and in general be in front and center for the biggest moments of any wedding day. On top of that, smaller arrangements are more challenging, but the product, a custom wedding set designed by you, it's so worth it. Although it's super fun to have DIY projects, sometimes it's best to leave things like this to the professionals. It's so worth it. So do you want the reward, not the hassle? Well, make sure you reach out to Studio 131 Floral Design and Event Rentals and Studio 131 Weddings and Events for all of your design needs. You can arrange with friends, have fun, you'll get better as you go, and the more you watch, the better you get. Subscribe now. All of my previous tips for prep as mentioned in other videos apply. Well, it is important, especially when you're making bouquets, to prep all the materials ahead of time. Otherwise, you won't have the extra hands to cut them and prep them. You are going to be holding this entire bouquet in one hand. So we want to lay out all of our greenery. We want to trim the stems pretty close to where we want them for our bouquets. We want to make sure all our flowers and roses are separated and make sure all of our bits and pieces are in order, especially the tape or wire or whatever you're binding them with is ready to go because you are going to be one-handed very quickly. Here we're making a bouquet that has a round shape on top. It still has a cascading effect underneath. In addition to the shape, what is unique about this arrangement is that we used cage foam as the holder, aka microfoam. This was a beautiful bouquet, but it actually is very large. Some brides don't want the bouquet to be that big because it's a little overwhelming, but I think it's perfect. The floral cage can be a little challenging and the foam does like to disintegrate, so you're not able to kind of adjust things as much as some people would like, but it definitely gives you a very large and full effect for your arrangement. And it gives you a nice handle to hold on to, so it makes it much easier instead of trying to hold everything in one hand and bind. So whether it's fresh or silk, you have to have a little variety, different lengths, different materials too. You don't want to use just one type of greenery. That bouquet has about 6 different types of greenery. So it definitely gives a lot of variety and texture to the bouquet if you do it that way. Also with fresh flowers, when you're choosing greenery, if you want a cascading look, you really have to pick something that is kind of droopy and floppy. So when you go to the store, you got to find something that works for the look you're going for. I know Italian ruscus is beautiful and that can kind of give you that desired effect as well. It's starting to look magnificent, even though it started off looking a little weird. For sure. Warning, the foam for these bouquets is smaller than you think, so you can stab right through and really hurt yourself, so please be careful. I love the variety though. It looks so much more natural and more interesting. How many types of greenery are in this shot right here?
I see 3.
I think I see more than 3. Leave your comments below. Oh, we're putting the flowers in now. We started with the white, which is a nice base color, but now adding the custom color feature florals is really where it's at. You can customize it however you want. Plus, I feel like anytime you use whites and pinks and blushes, it looks very natural because those flowers actually grow in nature. A lot of the other flower colors are dyed, but some are natural. I mean, there's lots of different colors in nature too. Make adjustments as needed. Yeah. Sometimes we think it might look good, and then you get there and you're like, it looks like a troll beard. Gotta take that out and start fresh. So I try and put a back on all of the arrangements, but I also try and make it pretty obvious which side is the front, especially with cascading bouquets. Usually the round bouquets, I kind of make it all around what the bride would like, because the bride still has to look at it and see it when she's holding it, and you don't want it to be ugly on one side, because I'm sure there will be a picture out there somewhere where the bride might be holding it backwards or sideways or what have you. So you still want it to be full all the way around, but I always pick a favorite side. If you want some more pro tips or you want some in-person classes, we actually do offer those here at Studio 131 Weddings and Events. So you can come live in person and check these classes out, or you can always reach out to Karen and she can create a custom program for you. If you're not using the microphone, you'll be securing a bundle of florals using a ribbon or fastener of your choice. I always use floral tape first though. So floral tape is a must when creating bouquets because we want them to be very, very tough for all of the abuse they take throughout the day.
They do take a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yep, your photographer and your videographer are going to want their hands on your bouquet to capture those moments, and they're going to get passed to your bridesmaids and to your flower girls and to everybody. So make sure that they are secure. So a really good way to see if you have the right amount of materials and to see if you're going to like the look of all your flowers together is to loosely arrange the bouquet and set them aside and just take a step back and look at it. Maybe there's a piece or a flower that you don't want in it, and that's okay. You can take it out before you do all the work of arranging it nicely and tight and really make sure it's the look and materials that you're going for. Plus, you want to make sure you have enough. So first step is making sure you look at all your materials and that there is enough and that you like them all together. Second, we would be arranging the greenery. So the greenery will be your base, and that's the thing you want to start with while you're creating these bouquets. We're going to arrange the florals next. We're going to place one and rotate, place one and rotate. That way, if you're using the same material, it really has a rounded out effect. They're all going to be placed evenly around the bouquet. I usually even like to start with one color and then the next color. The next step would definitely be making sure everything's exactly where you want it, because we're going to be taking our floral tape. I like to use the waterproof one or wire because it's more stable and it will last a lot longer. And brides might have sweaty palms or whoever's touching it, so you don't want it to come loose. We want to wrap it around and around a ton of times so it won't slip. And we want to make sure every single stem is exactly in place where we want it. Next, we're going to trim all the stems, but make sure you don't trim them too short. So this is something I've done before, and you can't go backwards in time and make the stems longer. So make sure you place both of your hands underneath it and there's plenty of room to hold it. Then we're going to wrap with the green floral tape in this instance because that will actually help the ribbon stick to it. The green floral tape has a little bit of a sticky sensation and it actually will stick to itself if you stretch it. So having that sticky material where you're going to lay the ribbon on top is really a benefit because it stays in place. The bride's bouquet should be more glamorous and probably bigger in most cases and have more extravagant pups of flowers or something special in it, something that means something to the bride Occasionally, they just have a flower that was maybe their mom's or their grandmother's favorite flower, so they want them with them somehow as they walk down the aisle. So that's a really special thing. Or sometimes they put something special in their maid of honors bouquet that reminds them of something when they were kids growing up. So often people think that they are saving money by buying either pre-made bouquets online, which is not always a bad thing. They have some nice things, but you don't know how many times I've had a bride call me crying or panicking because they thought they ordered one thing and in fact they opened the box and it was awful, or the flowers were all smushed, or they were the wrong color, or they didn't match. And you know, these are the kind of nightmares you really want to avoid on your wedding day, and it's worth the extra $100 or $200 you may pay a professional florist to get these things done. And if you are still trying to save money and be a little more savvy, maybe you just get a custom bouquet for yourself and get the bridesmaids all something a little bit more simple or traditional, or you can even rent them off of a lot of florists or event companies. I know I have several bouquets that I rent out, but typically the bride likes to keep theirs. So make sure you're investing in something that's going to be meaningful, because this bouquet is going to be in half of your photos for your wedding day. So it would be pretty sad to get something that you're not happy with, and hiring a professional florist, even if it's silk flowers, is definitely the way to go. So you get your desired look and you can just have those photos forever. Thanks for watching. Don't be shy. Hit that subscribe button to guarantee that we can keep bringing you this awesome content. Thanks for your support. Back in the way day, when they created this idea that brides had to carry flowers for their wedding day, but it was actually to make them smell better. So
Funny.
now it's really kind of funny that we literally just do it for looks, and it doesn't have anything to do with our scent anymore, which is why we can do silk flowers. But once upon a time, it was actually because people were so dirty they smelled bad. So the bride would walk down the aisle with flowers to be more presentable to her new husband. We're having our flower cast.
Like, what's the name?
I said, welcome to our flower cast. Get ready for another bloomy day.
Oh, wow.
It's a winner.
Winner. It's such a winner.